And here's my thing: if they didn't really rock with you from the jump, why do you think they're gonna rock with you now when you have a business? Welcome back. You already know what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the mindset mistakes that a lot of us small homemade businesses make. A skincare or anything. I'm in skincare, so that's why I really speak from a skincare perspective, but this can be applied to any business. One of the mindset mistakes that we make as small businesses or micro businesses is thinking that we're going into this business thinking that everybody that we know, including family and friends, are going to support us. That's mistake number one. I see it in posts all the time. I see people complaining about it all the time. While I do understand why this can be frustrating, but we can't always expect family and friends to support us. All right, when I started my business, and that's one thing I did right. When I started with the mindset that family and friends may or may not support me. Luckily they did though, and I think that was the good part about it. Like, I attracted the family members that would support me, and then the ones that didn't support me, I didn't hold it against them. I never did. I still don't. Another thing when I started, which helped mold my mind to go against, family and friends have to support me. I was listening to a lot of motivational speeches, and one of them that I listened to was by Les Brown, and he had I can never find it. If I can find it, I'll insert a clip. Hopefully YouTube don't say nothing about that, but I'll insert a clip where he said, if you go into business, you just have to go in there with the mindset, just go in there with the mindset that nobody's going to support you, and just go in there to do what you want to do. Don't think about anybody else. Don't think about no family. Don't think about no friends. Don't think about support from here. Just go into business to do what you want to do. Don't go in there with the mindset I'm going to go in and I'm going to send to all my family and friends. That's, because if you don't have family and friends to support you, that's a heartbreak. That's a business heartbreak, and you don't want business heartbreaks, but they happen, especially when you go in there with that type of mindset. So this is my advice to anybody that's starting. This is how, when I started, that's what was a part of my foundation. Me not going a business for expect nobody for support me. That's how I started. When I started, I went in I'm starting this, but I'm not expecting nothing from anybody. Not expect nothing from nobody that I know, no friend, no family. I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting you to purchase. I will not be disappointed if you don't. So my mindset was already cultivated with that in it. By the time I started, my mindset was already if you support me, you support me. If you don't support me, you don't support me. I already create my mindset that way to say, I'm not going to stress on people who support me or not. One of the things that is one of the things that I'm proud of, because even up to today, I don't stress about it. I see posts about it on Instagram or Facebook or everywhere all the time, and it doesn't faze me, because I never went in thinking that they need to support me. And that is why, and I think that's why a lot of us get disappointed. It's like starting a relationship. You go in there with expectations and you get disappointed. When I started this, I had no expectations, bro. No financial expectations, yes, but I had no personal expectations. I wasn't expecting anybody to come purchase from me. Whenever I expect a family to come, you understand? But when they did, I only focused on them. I focused on the ones that did. So that's why I never share a post about family and friends not supporting me. I will never share one. I might like it, but I'll never share one, because I feel like I feel like it would be disrespectful for the family and friends that did. Why not focus on the ones that did? So that's all I do. I only focus on them. So I'm not sharing no posts about family and friends not supporting me. No, because I have family and friends that support me. So I'm not focusing on them. Yes, and I do have family and friends that don't support me. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not about to focus on them. Secondly, and I think I had mentioned this earlier, we put a lot of expectations on people. And another thing that helped me to get through it was this. If I saw a family member that didn't support me, and I would sit down and I think, and I say to myself, so yo, if that person started a business, would you support them? So the human mind, the first thing we want to say is yes. But 90% of the time, you wouldn't. Because guess what? That person may or may not be selling something that you're not interested with. You're not interested in it. So you're not going to buy it. You're not going to buy it. Secondly, sometimes we don't want to share things on our pages for family and friends. Because honestly, until I started a business, I didn't share anything on my Facebook or my Instagram. I wasn't on there as much, so it never makes sense to hook up on it and share people posts. So I didn't do anything like that. It wasn't until I started that business I understood the importance of doing that. So why do you think your family and friends are supposed to automatically understand that? Cut them some slack, because you're walking around with hate and anger in your heart for somebody who might not even be in a position to support you, right? Also, this is might hurt some feelings, but your family and your friend has a social media that belongs to them. Let me say that again. They have a social media that belongs to them. What that means is you might be a family or a friend to them. That does not mean that they are supposed to share your posts. You get me? They don't have to do that. So stop putting that pressure on people. If they don't want to do that, they don't do that. I say, like, if that's none of them, if that's not their thing, that's not their thing. Not because you do it means they should do it. Yes, if you want to support somebody, support them, and that person will reciprocate it. But sometimes people, they're not about that life. You understand? Also, let's not forget that we do have family members who are haters. And here's my thing: if they didn't really rock with you from the jump, why do you think they're gonna rock with you now when you have a business? They never rocked with you from the beginning. So the odds of them rocking with you right now is slim to none. So why are you expecting them to? Because it's sometimes when we cry about family and friends, I think it's more of an acceptance type of thing. Like, hey, look at me, I'm doing something good, give me some attention, be proud of me. And this goes back to a lot of people with childhood issues, and that's a whole nother story. So it's look at me, support me, like, be proud of me. And they aren't all proud of you. And sometimes we just have family or friends who are proud of us, but they're proud of us from a distance. They watch on, and that's probably their support. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes we have family and friends that they're just not going to. All right, and it's like my mentor said, stop chasing support from family and friends. You need to, you worry about sales, worry about growing your business. What you worrying about people who aren't supporting you for? Focus. Put that energy back into, like, your customers. Put that energy back into your business. You really want to stunt, which you shouldn't be stunting. Show them that your business is booming. Show them that you're serious. Them don't owe you nothing. They don't owe you a damn thing. I get it. We're family and friends. Why don't we support each other? Not everyone will. And it's a hard truth. But some of us need to realize that before you start. So that's once you start, you're not heartbroken. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get your heart broken while you're in business, because you set up yourself from before. This is what's going to happen. I'm not expecting nothing from them. I'm going to go hard for myself. And you're good to go. So that way, when it does happen, you're like, okay, I didn't really expect one. And what I expected happened, and it is what it is, and keep it pushing. So that's a lot of things that a lot of people complain about. And it's full time now that we stop going into business thinking our family or friends are the ones that are going to support us. And sometimes they don't even like what you're selling. They don't even like it. Sometimes they really don't like what you're selling. Now you're forcing them to like what you're selling. They probably genuinely do not like it. Alright, them not like it. Yeah, sell both them probably not read. You're selling body butters, they probably don't care about their skin. You're selling jewelry, they probably don't like jewelry. You know what I'm saying? So another mindset tip or mistake I think it's a mixture of a mistake. And a tip that I would share is that sometimes we're manifesting sales, and you're manifesting all these sales but you don't have the product. One thing that I learned from Les Brown is always have product. Once you have product, you can sell it. If you don't have any product, you can't make any money, right? But I used to make a certain amount and I used to focus on just selling those. That's when I was consistent. Also, disclaimer, I'm still a small business, still growing, still making up and down sales. But that's something that I noticed. When I had product and I focused on selling those products, I could move those products. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, once you have the product, you can't move it. That's how you make money. So you can't be manifesting sales and you have no product. Another thing that I did was I would, like, in the beginning, like my first 6 months of business, I would always wake up with affirmations. And one of my main affirmations were like, there's this video on YouTube that it says the affirmation for you, and one of the lines, it was like, I'm a money magnet. I gain like twice as much as I spend, etc. And I would say that all the time, and that used to be my affirmations. I used to say, my business is gonna do good, my customers are gonna like this, things like that. Because sometimes when we make a product and we don't feel confident in it, you can tell by how you promote it. And sometimes I feel like the customers, them, can reciprocate that feeling. If you're confident in it, them can feel that too. If you don't confident, they can also feel that, and that can make or break a sale, in my opinion. So your mindset has to be up there when it comes on to that. And I'm still working on mine, just to let you know. I'm still working and I'm still growing on mine. Another one is having ideas, coming up with them, and over announcing them. So what that means is you might have an idea for a product and you over announce it. So you announce it to everybody, and then the amount of people that you tell about it, the amount of different reviews you get it for them, each time you tell somebody about it, it just changes your perspective on it, little by little. And by the time you get to starting to make this product, you no longer feel confident about it and you no longer want to try it. So sometimes we should refrain from over announcing our ideas, sharing our ideas, because other people are gonna do it too. And yeah, that's the next one too. Sharing our ideas and expecting people to understand that what we're creating. Sometimes as creators, even skincare is a form of creation. Not everyone will understand what you're trying to create, and don't expect everyone to. And that's another reason why sometimes we need to cut down on the expectation of other people, because we can't expect them to understand something that they don't understand. Especially like if it's a family or a friend, you need to find someone in your industry or group or something to talk to about these problems, because you're not gonna get the response you want from family. As a small business is comparing. This is a very big one. Comparing. And that's a mindset mistake, because I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the quote, comparison is the killer of a lot of dreams. Alright, is that how it goes? I hope so, but it sounds like it makes sense. So comparison is the killer of all dreams, okay? Because what's going to happen, you're going to look at someone else's business and you're going to compare it to yours, and you're going to feel less than. Don't do it. This also ties into the video that I made yesterday, where I spoke about following a lot of other businesses. No, that's going to lead to comparison, unintentional comparison, and comparison leads to the self-esteem of your business going down, and then your self-esteem going down, then your confidence in your business going down, because you're looking at someone else whose business is doing better, way better than yours at the time. That's not fair, because you don't know their journey. You guys have two different journeys. If anything, you should look at their business and see what they're doing, maybe like if they're consistent or something like that, and take that away and say, what, I'm going to be consistent too, but I'm not going to compare the position that they are right now with my position that I am in right now. You guys are in two different paths and literally at two different stages in your business life, so there isn't any comparison there, and there shouldn't be. So I know it's easier said than done, but follow the tips that I mentioned in my previous video, with just trying to stay away from following other businesses as much as possible, because sometimes it not even makes sense. All it do, I make you feel bad about what you're doing right now, And it is the, stealer of dreams, killer of joys, comparison. It's not, compared to another business. Sometimes for some people it helps them do better, but for the most part it doesn't. It doesn't lead to a better business. It leads to your business self-esteem going down, and it also leads to you yourself, losing self-esteem or feeling less confident. So why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to your business? That's like your baby. Imagine having a child and comparing your child to an older child. How will that child feel? So treat it like that. Last but not least, so not every customer will like your product. Not every customer will like what you're doing. Not every customer, customers will have them favorite. So if a customer don't like what you're selling, don't take it personal. They might have some slick comments here and there. Don't take it personal. Sometimes some of them not better for do. So just try not to take business as business. And I know it's hard because as small businesses, we're like tied into the businesses. So when they make a comment, it's like a direct hit at you. But we cannot look at it like that because they're really talking about the product and not you, even though we feel tied into it. It is hard and it's a learning process. It's a learning curve. But don't try to fight your customer if they don't like your stuff. Keep it pushing. You don't like it? All right. Say less. All right. Say less. And it's important for us to sometimes bow out gracefully. If they come and them don't like it, it's fine. Because the worst thing to do is try to convince them to like it, because 9 times out of 10 they already told themselves that they don't like your product and they're not going to buy it. So if they're telling you this is how it is, say okay, why? If they say, well, all right, this is why, fine, nothing else I can do about that. But it's not a direct hit on you unless you're rude. Then that's different. I think that's all for today. So yeah, later. And thanks for watching.